my first time home buyer's guide to buying a new home in 2023. I'm super stoked for all of you that are taking this big step. It's your go-to guy for all things Central Florida. Zane here. If you are moving in the Orlando, Central Florida area, relocating to Central Florida, please reach out to me. I would love to help you out. I would love to be a source of information. Hit me up at Zane The Realtor on Instagram. Feel free, drop a comment below, whatever have you. I'm here for you. I'm gonna go over 5 major points that you're gonna wanna keep in mind as you go through this process. The first major point that I'm gonna go over is to temper your expectations. And I'm gonna preface this by giving you one key phrase. If you're a first-time home buyer, you are almost never also a last-time home buyer. All right, statistics show the vast majority of first-time home buyers stay in that first home for 6 to 10 years. When looking for your first home, keep in mind the fact that it probably won't be your forever home. There's any number of reasons for this, right? You could have a career change, you could grow a family, your current family could have a situation where maybe they need to move in with you, whatever have you. But at the end of the day, the house that you're looking to move into right now will most likely only be your primary residence for 6 to 10 years. When you're looking for your first home, definitely have criteria, and that's another point that we're gonna get into, and find homes that fit that criteria. But say if you find a home you really like, and maybe there's a few little things that make the home really good, but just not quite perfect, understand you might not need completely perfect because this is your first home. It's not necessarily your forever home. And again, just because you're a first-time home buyer doesn't mean you have to be a last-time home buyer. Point 1, temper your expectations. Point number 2, you're gonna wanna lay out 3 things for buying your home. Those 3 things are gonna be your non-negotiables, your wants, and your don't wants. For each individual person, houses have certain things that they absolutely need. For some people, they hate a long commute to work. So a non-negotiable for you might be location. For a lot of people that move to Florida specifically, a non-negotiable is beating the heat. And so a pool is an absolute must in their house. However, with these non-negotiables, you have to keep in mind what they mean. So things like location or proximity to a certain area and a pool will likely also involve a higher price. You have to keep in mind, if you have a non-negotiable for something like a pool or a certain location, that may make it difficult to also make something like price a non-negotiable. And that's where we get into the wants and don't wants. Let's say, like I mentioned, you absolutely need a house with a pool. Well, then you probably can't put price as a non-negotiable because houses with pools just tend to cost more. So then you could probably put price as a want, as in I want a house with a pool that's at a really good value, but you have to understand that it's just gonna cost more at the end of the day. You could switch it around too. Maybe location is a want for you, but it's not a non-negotiable because you're okay making the drive. And then non-negotiable becomes the price because you're willing to sacrifice the location and be somewhere maybe a little farther out than where you work. Price is non-negotiable because if you're gonna live farther out, you don't wanna pay as much every month. And as a real estate agent, I would say that that is a completely reasonable and attainable trade-off to have in your first home. The don't wants in a house are just as important as the non-negotiables and the wants because, and I've shown clients homes like this myself, the house will have their non-negotiables and even some of the things that they want, but there's some icky factor. One don't want for many people in Florida is an old roof, because I'll tell you guys something, insurance down here for houses with old roofs can be sky high sometimes. And so that's why very often houses with new roofs get higher values on the market because they don't have the same insurance issues that a lot of the other older homes have. So make sure you think of your don't wants as well as your wants and non-negotiables in this process so that you don't look at those awesome homes that seem so close to what you're looking for, but they have that ick factor. They have that one thing that you just can't handle in your home. Point number 2, write out a list of your non-negotiables, your wants, and your don't wants. Point number 3, talk to the experts. For my first-time home buyers out there, let me give you a key piece of information in this whole process. The buyer, aka you, the first-time home buyer, does not pay the real estate agent's commission. The real estate agent's commission is paid by the seller side. For buyers out there, guys, you don't pay the real estate agent's commission. So don't hesitate to reach out to a real estate agent, to a lender, to get more information and become better informed about the process, because guess what? It doesn't cost you anything. So point number 3, guys, make sure you talk to the experts because we're here to be sources of information for you. And again, for my first-time home buyers especially, it doesn't cost you anything. Point number 4 is going to be getting your ducks in a row for a pre-approval. So just a quick explanation on a pre-approval. When you buy a home, unless you're buying it cash, you'll probably get a home loan from a mortgage company or a bank. And when you get a home loan, you have to be pre-approved for that loan. It's just like a personal loan. It's just like a credit card. You have to be approved based on certain factors to actually get the loan. So the 4 basic factors for approval for a home loan are going to be your credit score, your proof of income, which is like your tax returns, your proof of current employment, something like a job letter, current pay stubs from your job, whatever have you, and then a proof of current funds. So that's going to be a bank statement, just something that shows the amount of money that you currently have. Your lender will look over those 4 things to pre-approve you for a certain home loan amount. That's going to depend on how much money you make, your credit score, so on and so forth. This video isn't all about mortgages, so I'm not going to get super into that. Point number 4, get your ducks in a row for a pre-approval. Point number 5, arguably the most important, guys, you gotta just pull the trigger. And before I continue or say anything else, I don't want to ruffle any feathers. Look, I'm not sitting here saying you should just go buy a house before you're even ready, okay? Absolutely, go through points 1 through 4, talk with your family, talk with the people making the move with you, talk with whoever is important to you and you feel like you need to chat with. But when you're ready to make the move, you gotta just pull the trigger and do it. I moved to Orlando from Northern Virginia. I've been down here for 2 years now and I absolutely love it. I know that first step is a big step. It's a leap. You have to take the chance, especially when it's your first time. It can be scary, I understand. But guys, when you're ready, when you've decided that this is something that you want to do, you gotta just pull the trigger. There's so many different avenues of information that you can absorb that are going to tell you X, Y, and Z about the housing market. But at the end of the day, if you've gotten your ducks in a row, if you're buying a home for the first time, if you're going from renting to buying, whatever have you, guys, there's only one person who can make that move happen, and that's you. So point number 5, pull the trigger, guys. When you're ready to do it, don't hesitate. Make it happen. And I would absolutely love to help as many of you in getting through that process as I can. So there you have it, guys. Number 1, temper your expectations. Number 2, lay out a list of non-negotiables, wants and don't wants. Number 3, talk to the experts. Number 4, get your ducks in a row for a pre-approval. And number 5, pull that trigger. Guys, I'm Zane the Realtor, your go-to guy for all things Central Florida. Comment below which one of these points you might feel like you're stuck on. I would love to talk you through it, learn more about you, and hopefully provide a little insight on how you can get past it. And if you're not stuck on any of them and you're ready to go, like I said, reach out to me. I would absolutely love to help you out. Zane the Realtor from Central Florida. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Subscribe, drop a like, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.